Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Mahārāja's message is your advantage. The following is a Sri Kṛṣṇa Caitanya book compilation given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Mahārāja on March 28th, 2021 in Sri Mayapur, India.
Pangung langayate girim yatkripa tamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram Harihi Om Tat Sat. So today we will continue with the compilation of the Sri Kṛṣṇa Caitanya book. Today's chapter is entitled as Lord Caitanya promises to meet Haridāsa Ṭhākura every day and send him Prasāda. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela.
So, yesterday we were reading how Lord Caitanya was meeting all the devotees from Bengal.
So yesterday we were reading how Lord Caitanya was meeting all the devotees from Bengal.
And he remembered the name of all the devotees.
And he remembered the names of all the devotees.
Even devotees he had never met before.
Even the devotees that he had never met before.
He knew their name.
He knew their names.
And he talked to them.
And he talked to them.
As if they were old friends.
As if they were his old friends.
So, that means that the Lord, He knows all of you, what you're doing.
That means the Lord, He knows what you all are doing.
I may or may not know your name.
I may or may not know your name.
But the Lord knows.
But the Lord knows.
Everything about you.
Everything about you.
But Mahārāja, he didn't go to see Lord Caitanya.
But Murari Gupta, he didn't want to see Lord Caitanya.
He was paying his prostrate obeisances at the Narendra Sarovar.
He was paying his prostrate obeisances at the Narendra Sarovar.
And he was crying.
And he was crying.
Lord Caitanya sent someone to bring him.
And Lord Caitanya sent someone to bring him.
I mean, remember, he was the physician in Navadvip.
And he remembered that he was the physician.
Oh no, did you all remember?
Did you all remember he was the physician from Navadvip?
And when Lord Caitanya he would read out the 1,000 names of Vishnu.
And Lord Caitanya made him to read out the 1,000 names of Vishnu.
And, so sometimes he would write on the back of Murari Gupta.
Sometimes he is riding on the back of Murari Gupta.
So great a devotee was Murari Gupta.
So great devotee was Murari Gupta.
And Lord Caitanya told him to worship Kṛṣṇa.
And Lord Caitanya told him to worship Lord Kṛṣṇa.
And the next morning, he said the whole night he tried, but always the image of Lord Ram came.
So next morning he said the whole night he tried, but always the image of Lord Ram came.
So then he wanted to commit suicide because he was not carrying out the order of Lord Caitanya.
Then he wanted to commit suicide because he was not carrying out the orders of Lord Caitanya.
And then Lord Caitanya revealed that actually he's Hanuman from the previous life.
So then Lord Caitanya revealed actually he was Hanuman in his previous life. In his previous avatar.
With Lord Ram.
With Lord Ram.
So, such a great devotee.
So such a great devotee.
But he is crying.
But he is crying.
He's telling Lord Caitanya.
He's telling Lord Caitanya.
I'm very fallen.
I'm very fallen.
I'm sinful. Please don't touch me.
I'm sinful. Please don't touch me.
And he bowed down and touched the lotus feet of Lord Caitanya.
He bowed down, he touched the lotus feet of Lord Caitanya.
He was crying.
He was crying.
Lord Caitanya said, "You're breaking my heart.
So Lord Chaitanya said, "You are breaking my heart.
Your meekness, your humble humility is too much."
Your meekness, your humility is too much."
He picked him up and embraced him.
He picked him up and embraced him.
So, then Haridāsa Ṭhākura, he looked around, he didn't see Haridāsa.
And then he looked around. He didn't see Haridāsa.
He said, "Where's Haridāsa?"
Where was Haridāsa?
And he was outside paying his obeisances,
And he was outside paying his obeisances,
crying.
crying and crying.
Lord Caitanya said, "Why are you here?
And Lord Chaitanya said, "Why are you here?
I am low-born.
I am low-born.
I am very sinful, fallen person.
I am very sinful, fallen person.
I don't want my service of Jagannath. If they touch me, they'll be contaminated.
I don't want the servants of Jagannath. If they touch me, they will be contaminated.
I just need some place somewhere near the temple
I just need some place somewhere near the temple
where I can be solitary."
where I can be in solitary."
So Lord Caitanya said, "Come to see him every day.
So Lord Chaitanya said that he would come to see him every day
Send him Jagannath Prasād."
and send him Jagannath Prasadam.
See how these devotees are so exalted, but they're so humble.
So we see how these devotees, they are so exalted, but they are so humble.
We think of ourselves very great sometimes.
We think about ourselves very great sometimes.
These associates of Lord Caitanya are so humble.
But these associates of Lord Chaitanya were so humble.
They cry and say that they're fallen.
They cried and they said that they were fallen.
They're actually very advanced.
They are actually very advanced.
I was thinking that I'm really fallen.
I was thinking that I'm really fallen.
So they were reading about the pastime of Lord Caitanya with Haridāsa.
So today we are reading about the pastime of Lord Chaitanya with Haridāsa, where Lord Chaitanya promises to meet Haridāsa Ṭhākura every day and send him prasadam. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 11.185.
ঠাকুর হরিদাসের নিকট প্রভুর আগমন। মহাপ্রভু আইলা তবে হরিদাস মিলনে, হরিদাস করে প্রেমের নাম সংকীর্তনে।
After this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to meet Haridāsa Ṭhākura, and he saw him engaged in chanting the Mahamantra with ecstatic love. Haridāsa chanted, "Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare." Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 11.186.
হরিদাসের প্রণাম, প্রভুর আলিঙ্গন। প্রভু দেখি পরে পায় দণ্ডবত হইয়া, প্রভু আলিঙ্গন কইল তারে উঠাইয়া।
As soon as Haridāsa Ṭhākura saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he immediately fell down like a stick to offer him obeisances. And Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu raised him up and embraced him.
So we see the Haridāsa Ṭhākura, how he was acting, how he was behaving.
So we see that Haridāsa Ṭhākura, how he was behaving.
When he saw Lord Caitanya, it said that he offered his dandavats.
So when he saw Lord Chaitanya, it is stated that he offered his dandavats.
He fell down like a stick
He fell down like a stick
to offer Lord Caitanya obeisances.
to offer Lord Chaitanya obeisances.
Lord Caitanya would raise him up and embrace him.
And Lord Chaitanya would raise him up and embrace him. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 11.187.
পরস্পরের গুণ স্মরণে ভক্ত ও ভগবান উভয়ের প্রেম বিহবলতা। দুইজনে প্রেমাবেশে করেন ক্রন্দনে, প্রভু গুণে বৃত্ত বিকল, প্রভু ভিত্ত গুণে।
Then both the Lord and his servant began to cry in ecstatic love. Indeed, the Lord was transformed by the qualities of his servant, and the servant was transformed by the qualities of his master. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Mayavadi philosophers say that the living entity and the Supreme Lord are non-different, and therefore they equate the transformation of the living entity with the transformation of the Lord. In other words, Mayavadis say that if the living entity is pleased, then the Lord is also pleased, and if the living entity is displeased, the Lord is also displeased. By juggling words in this way, the Mayavadis prove that there is no difference between the living entity and the Lord. This, however, is not a fact. In this verse, Kṛṣṇadas Kaviraj explained, Prabhu Gune Britta Bikal Prabhu Britya Gune. The Lord and the living entity are not equal, for the Lord is always the master and the living entity is always the servant. Transformation takes place due to the transcendental qualities, and it is thus said that the servant of the Lord is the heart of the Lord and the Lord is the heart of the servant. This is also explained by Kṛṣṇa in the Bhagavad Gita 4.11. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. As the Lord is always eager to congratulate the servant because of the servant's transcendental qualities, the servant pleasingly renders service unto the Lord, and the Lord also pleasingly reciprocates, rendering even more service unto the Lord.
Unto the servant.
Unto the servant.
So the Lord reciprocates with the love of his servant.
So the Lord reciprocates with the love of his servant.
And when he reciprocates, the servant feels more love.
When he reciprocates, the servant feels more love.
It's something, a transcendental exchange.
It's something, a transcendental exchange.
And not what the Mayavadis say.
And it's not what the Mayavadis say.
So, Haridāsa Ṭhākura, he would be moved by the qualities of Lord Caitanya.
So Haridāsa Ṭhākura, he was being moved by the qualities of Lord Caitanya.
Lord Caitanya would be moved by the qualities of his servant.
And Lord Caitanya will be moved by the qualities of his servant.
But Lord Caitanya is always the master.
But Lord Caitanya is always the master.
And Haridāsa Ṭhākura is always his servant.
And Haridāsa Ṭhākura is always his servant. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 11.188.
ঠাকুর হরিদাসের আপনাকে অস্পৃশ্য জ্ঞান। হরিদাস কহে প্রভু না ছুঁয় মোরে, মই নিচ অস্পৃশ্য পরম পামরে।
Haridāsa Ṭhākura said, My dear Lord, please do not touch me, for I am most fallen and untouchable, and am the lowest among men.
You see, a sun can evaporate dirty water.
You see, the sun can evaporate the dirty water
And make the place purified.
and make the place purified.
The sun is not contaminated.
But the sun is not contaminated.
Similarly, Lord Caitanya, if he touches anyone,
Similarly, Lord Caitanya, if he touches anyone,
he's not contaminated.
he is not contaminated.
Rather, that person is purified.
Rather, the person is purified.
So, this statement of Haridāsa Ṭhākura that I'm untouchable,
So this statement of Haridāsa Ṭhākura that I am untouchable,
first of all, it's due to his extreme humility.
first of all, it is due to his extreme humility.
And second of all, it doesn't apply to the Lord,
And second of all, it don't apply to the Lord,
since he never contaminated.
since he is never contaminated. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 11.189.
সাক্ষাৎ ব্রহ্মণ্যদেব প্রভু কর্তৃক হরিদাসের আচার্যত্ব কীর্তন। প্রভু কহে তোমা স্পর্শী পবিত্র হইতে, তোমার পবিত্র ধর্ম নাহিক আমাতে।
The Lord said, I wish to touch you, just to be purified, for your purified activities do not exist in me. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. This is an example of the reciprocation of feelings between the master and servant. The servant thinks that he is most impure and the master should not touch him. And the master thinks that because he has become impure by associating with so many impure living entities, he should touch a pure devotee like Haridāsa Ṭhākura just to purify himself. Actually, both the servant and master are already purified because neither of them is in touch with the impurities of the material existence. They are already equal in quality because both of them are the purest. There is a difference in quantity, however, because the master is unlimited and the servant is limited. Consequently, the servant always remains subordinate to the master, and this relationship is eternal and undisturbed. As soon as the servant feels like becoming the master, he falls into Maya. Thus, it is by misuse of free will that one falls under the influence of Maya. The Mayavadi philosophers try to explain the equality of master and servant in terms of quantity, but they fail to explain why, if the master and servant are equal, then the servant falls victim to Maya. They try to explain that when the servant, the living entity, is out of the clutches of Maya, he immediately becomes the so-called master again. Such an explanation is never satisfactory. Because being unlimited, the master cannot become a victim of Maya, for in such a case, his unlimitedness would be crippled or limited. Thus, the Mayavada explanation is not correct. The fact is that the master is always master and unlimited, and the servant, being limited, is sometimes curtailed by the influence of Maya. Maya is also the master's energy and is also unlimited. Therefore, the limited servant or the limited living entity is forced to remain under the master or the master's potency Maya. Being freed from the master Maya's influence, one can again become a pure servant and equal qualitatively to the Lord. The relationship between the master and servant continues due to their being unlimited and limited respectively.
Just like we're limited, we can be colored by a cloud.
Just like we are limited, we can be covered by cloud.
That's why we cannot see the sun.
Therefore, we cannot see the sun.
But it's not that the sun is colored by the cloud.
It's not that the sun is being covered by the Lord.
It's like when you fly in the airplane above the clouds, you see that the sun is still there shining.
Just we fly above the aeroplane, just like we fly in the aeroplane above the cloud, we see the sun is shining.
So, Mayavadis think that the cloud can cover the sun.
The Mayavadis, they say that the cloud can cover the sun.
That is not correct.
But that's not correct.
It covers us because we are limited.
It covers us because we are limited.
But Maya can never cover the Supreme Lord.
But Maya can never cover the Supreme Lord. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 11.190.
কৃষ্ণ ভক্তে সর্বক্ষণ সর্বতীর্থ স্নান ও সর্বতপ যজ্ঞ দানাদি বিদ্যমান ক্ষণে ক্ষণে করো তুমি সর্বতীর্থে স্নান ক্ষণে ক্ষণে করো তুমি যজ্ঞ তপদান.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exalted Haridāsa Ṭhākura, stating, at every moment you take your bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage, and at every moment you perform great sacrifices, austerity and charity. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 11.191.
কৃষ্ণ ভক্তই সাঙ্গ বেদ বেদান্ত ধীতি ও নিখিল ব্রাহ্মণ সন্ন্যাসীর গুরু. নিরন্তর করো তুমি বেদ অধ্যয়ন, দ্বিজনেশী হইতে তুমি পরম পাবন।
You are constantly studying the four Vedas and you are far better than any Brahmana or Sannyasi. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, 11.192.
শ্রীমদ্ ভাগবত 3:33-7 অহোবত সপচত গরিয়ান যজ্জিয়াগ্রে বর্ততে নাম তুভ্যম তেপস্তুপস্তে জুহুবুষস্নু রাজ্যা ব্রহ্মানুচূর্ণম গৃণন্তি এতে।
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then recited the following verse. My dear Lord, one who always keeps your holy name on his tongue becomes greater than an initiated Brahmana, although he may be born in a family of dog eaters and therefore, by material calculation, may be the lowest among men. He is still glorious. This is the wonderful effect of chanting the holy name of the Lord. It is therefore concluded that one who chants the holy name of the Lord should be understood to have performed all kinds of austerities and great sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas. He has already taken his birth in all the holy places of pilgrimage. He has studied all the Vedas and he is actually an Aryan. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The word Aryan means advanced. Unless one is spiritually advanced, he cannot be called an Aryan. And this is the difference between Aryan and non-Aryans. Non-Aryans are those who are not spiritually advanced. By following the Vedic culture, by performing great sacrifices, and by becoming a strict follower of the Vedic instruction, one may become a Brahmana, a Sannyasi, or an Aryan. It is not possible to become a Brahmana, Sannyasi, or Aryan without being properly qualified. Bhagavad Dharma never allows one to become a cheap Brahmana, Sannyasi, or Aryan. The qualities and the qualification described herein are quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 33rd chapter, verse number 7, and was spoken by Devahuti, the mother of Kapila Deva, when she understood the influence of devotional service Bhakti Yoga. In this way, Devahuti praised the devotee, pointing out his greatness in all respects.
So this chanting of the holy name actually purifies the chanter.
This chanting of the holy name actually purifies the chanter.
And the chanter is known as an Aryan.
And the chanter, he is known as the Aryan.
So caste, creed, color, gender, whatever, anything
So caste, creed, color, gender, anything
is not applicable to one who chants the holy name.
it's not applicable to one who chants the holy name.
A person can be purified in all respects.
The person can be purified in all respects.
Devahuti understood this and was praising devotees.
So Devahuti understood this and she was praising the devotees. The devotee can be purified in all aspects.
চৈতন্য চরিতামৃত মধ্যলীলা 11:193 সিদ্ধ বকুলে ঠাকুর হরিদাসকে স্থান দান। এত বলি তারে লইয়া গেলা পুষ্পোদ্যানে, অতি নিবৃত্তে তারে দিলা বাসস্থানে।
Saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Haridāsa Ṭhākura within the flower garden and there, in a very secluded place, he showed him his residence. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 11.194.
প্রভুর স্বয়ংই ভক্ত সহ মিলন অঙ্গীকার, এই স্থানে রহি কর নাম সংকীর্তন, প্রতিদিন আসি আমি করিব মিলন।
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested Haridāsa Ṭhākura, remain here and chant the Hare Kṛṣṇa Mahamantra. I shall personally come here to meet you daily. CCM 11.195.
মন্দিরের সুদর্শন চক্রকে প্রণাম অর্থ আজ্ঞাদান। মন্দিরের চক্র দেখি করিহ প্রণাম, এই ঠাই তোমার আসিবে প্রসাদান্ন।
Remain here peacefully and look at the chakra on top of the temple and offer obeisances. As far as your prasadam is concerned, I shall arrange to have that sent here. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Since he was born in a Muslim family, Srila Haridāsa Ṭhākura could not enter the temple of Jagannath due to temple restrictions. Nonetheless, he was recognized by Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu as Namacharya Haridāsa Ṭhākura. Haridāsa Ṭhākura, however, considered himself unfit to enter Jagannath temple. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu could have personally taken Haridāsa Ṭhākura into the Jagannath temple if he wished, but the Lord did not like to disturb the popular custom. Consequently, the Lord asked his servant simply to look at the Vishnu wheel on top of the temple and offer obeisances, namaskara. This means that if one is not allowed to enter the temple, or if he thinks himself unfit to enter the temple, he can look at the wheel from outside the temple, and this is as good as seeing the deity within. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu promised to come daily to see Haridāsa Ṭhākura, and this indicates that Srila Haridāsa Ṭhākura was so advanced in spiritual life that although considered unfit to enter the temple, he was being personally visited by the Lord every day. Nor was there any need for his going outside his residence to collect food. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu assured Haridāsa Ṭhākura that the remnants of his food would be sent there. As the Lord states in the Bhagavad Gita 9:22, Yogakshema Vahamyaham, I arrange all life's necessity for my devotees. A reference is made here for those who are very anxious to imitate the behavior of Haridāsa Ṭhākura in an unnatural way. One must receive the order of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu or his representative before adopting such a way of life. The duty of a pure devotee or a servant of the Lord is to carry out the order of the Lord. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu asked Nityananda Prabhu to go to Bengal and preach, and he asked the Goswamis Rupa and Sanatan to go to Vrindavan and excavate the lost places of pilgrimage. In this case, the Lord asked Haridāsa Ṭhākura to remain there at Jagannath Puri and constantly chant the holy names of the Lord. Thus, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu gave different persons different orders, and consequently, one should not try to imitate the behavior of Haridāsa Ṭhākura without being ordered by Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu or his representative. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur condemns such imitations in this way. My dear mind, you are trying to imitate Haridāsa Ṭhākura and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in a secluded place, but you are not worth being called a Vaishnava because what you want is cheap popularity and not actual qualification of Haridāsa Ṭhākura. If you try to imitate him, you will fall down, for your neophyte position will cause you to think of woman and money. Thus, you will fall into the clutches of Maya, and your so-called chanting in a secluded place will bring about your downfall.
Like this, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
So like this, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada
gave different orders, different instructions to different disciples.
He gave different orders or different instruction to different disciples.
And each disciple should carry out the instruction of a spiritual master.
And each disciple should carry out the instructions of the spiritual master.
This way they can achieve all success
In this way, they can achieve all success
in their devotional service.
in their devotional service. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 11.196.
নিত্যানন্দাদির হরিদাস দর্শনে আনন্দ। নিত্যানন্দ জগদানন্দ দামোদর মুকুন্দ, হরিদাসে মিলি সবে পাইল আনন্দ।
When Nityananda Prabhu, Jagadananda Prabhu, Damodar Prabhu and Mukunda Prabhu met Haridāsa Ṭhākura, they all became they all became very pleased.
So all the devotees were very pleased to meet Haridāsa Ṭhākura.
So all the devotees were very pleased to meet Haridāsa Ṭhākura.
And although Haridāsa Ṭhākura could not go to see the deities,
Although Haridāsa Ṭhākura could not go to see the deities,
since Lord Caitanya was like a moving Jagannath,
since Lord Caitanya was like a moving Jagannath,
he would come every day to visit Haridāsa Ṭhākura.
he would come every day to visit Haridāsa Ṭhākura.
So Prasād was indicating that his position was very special.
So Prabhupada was indicating that his position was very special. Thus ends the chapter entitled Lord Caitanya promises to meet Haridāsa Ṭhākura every day and send him prasada.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.